series of 7D Mark II tips and tricks. This one is about adding Wi-Fi to a camera that doesn't have it. Now it's a little surprising, a little bit of a bummer that it's not in there. It's not. We can talk about it, we can whine about it, or we can move on and figure out some solutions for getting Wi-Fi in there. Now there are really two reasons that people want Wi-Fi in their DSLRs. And there are some who don't at all. I'm not talking to you. First reason is you want to be able to share pictures anytime, anywhere, directly from your camera. Second reason is you want to be able to control your camera remotely. Now this solution I've got for you only satisfies the first. I have some options that are going to allow you to remotely control your camera even without Wi-Fi that I will be talking about soon, in particular with the 7D Mark II, but also with other cameras as well. So you want to share pictures anytime, anywhere from your nice DSLR. Well, iFi's got these little cards. This shouldn't be a surprise to you. They've been around for quite some time now. I have to imagine they're a little scared of the future because so many camera makers are now putting iFi or Wi-Fi into the cameras, and it makes these less needed, less usable. Well, 7D Mark II has come along to save the company. It works really nicely with the 7D Mark II because it's got those dual card slots in there. You've got compact flash and you've got an SD card slot, and these can slide in nicely to the SD card slot. I've got two of them here. This isn't a complete how-to. This is going to just give you a brief overview of how it works and how I've set it up to avoid a lot of those negative reviews and complaints you see online. There are other SD card wireless options out there. I've never used any of them. The reviews seem even worse than the iFi cards, and that's saying a lot because the reviews here are pretty harsh. But I think what happens to a lot of people is, one, they have a little bit of unrealistic expectations. Two, it can be buggy, and I'm going to share a couple tips that keeps it a little bit more straightforward. And one of the reasons why iFi released this version of the card, the Mobi, is I think to address a lot of the more complicated setup concerns. If you just want to have your images transfer over to a mobile device without any intermediate setup, drop dead simple, this is what you want. I don't like it though, and I'll tell you why in a second. This is the Mobi card. You buy it, it comes in a little package with a little activation code. You download the free app from your Google store or your iTunes store. You put in the little code, you put this into your camera, and then every picture you take that's a JPEG automatically gets transferred over. It works quite well. It's very simple, no account needed, as I said, no fussing needed. However, it doesn't work well for me because I don't want every image to go over. I'm very selective about which images I want to share. And sure, you could say, well, let them all go over and then pick which ones you want to share. It's a pretty serious battery hit because it does draw your energy from the camera to use the little Wi-Fi chip inside and send those over. So I don't like it. I have this one. I talked about on the podcast maybe giving it away to somebody who might have a better use for it than me. I probably will do that at some point. I like the older but still good Pro X2 model. Now this currently sells for somewhere between $70 and $100. It fluctuates up and down. You might be looking at, if you can see that from here, 16 gigabytes and saying, well, that's a lot of money for a small card. Well, remember there's a wireless chip in here as well. And it also will do something called endless memory, which is as the card starts to fill up, it will delete images from here that have been transferred over. I've never used that. You have to be pretty trusting to use that, but honestly, it would be fine to use in a situation where you have two card slots because you could be shooting full RAWs to one and then smaller JPEGs to another, and it's okay if those duplicated images don't necessarily all get transferred over. But let me show you. So you buy this, you download the software, you slide it into your computer, and you've got a couple different options for how you use this. But my personal pick is direct mode, which is very similar to the Mobi card, except I get to be selective about what transfers over. So I've slid it in here, and now I can bring up the little kind of settings for this iFi card. The computer's talking to it and setting it up. Now, under networks, you've got three tabs: your private tab, your direct mode, and public hotspots. You can put in Wi-Fi locations like your home Wi-Fi router or access point, and anytime your camera is within range and you want to share to your computer, you can do that. It's pretty nifty. It's a neat trick during some birthday parties and things like that, because there's even software that you can then run that will make a slideshow, live slideshow as you're taking pictures in the room. The new pictures will show up over there. It's neat. It's fun. But I leave all of that out. I do not put any in because I found that direct mode works much better when there are no known networks to ever connect to. So I leave that blank and go right here to this tab called Direct Mode. Now on here, it says when no known Wi-Fi's are in range, start the direct mode network. This is a setup that allows your mobile device, your tablet, your phone to connect directly to your camera. You don't have to be in cell service. You don't have to be within anybody's Wi-Fi service. You can be in the middle of the woods, deep in a cave, in the middle of woods, deep in a cave, or on top of a mountain, doesn't matter. Your phone or tablet can connect directly to the camera. It's sweet. It works quite well. And down here it's got the direct mode SSID and password. And now this is when you should take a moment. You hit this little start direct mode network. And that starts broadcasting the little Wi-Fi card out just like it would when it's in the camera and has been triggered. Now this is the time in the comfort of your home to pick up your different devices that might ever need to connect to your camera and trigger them. So I'm going to come over here. I've done it already, but I'm just going to show you very quickly. You see that picture. I'm going to go in here to the Wi-Fi settings. And you can see that the Wi-Fi card has been connected to and saved. And so I could connect to it again if I wanted to. I could also say forget. And now let's just say that doesn't know it. It sees it. I've never put in a password. So now would be the time where I'm going to type in this lovely password from over here. And we're connected. Pretty straightforward. Now, let's go over here to Photos and notice that it's currently uploading to the Nexus 7. So I've already triggered that over here. The other bit that is a little confusing is you want to do that part of the setup when you're connected to your home Wi-Fi or if it's from a phone cell service, because you do need to be able to communicate to the Wi-Fi servers to say this is the device that you should be uploading to, because you can switch it back and forth between devices. I don't have it upload to this computer. I don't do RAWs. These are really just for sharing out. You can do videos, but really that is seriously battery intensive. The Wi-Fi View is their kind of service that will back them up to the cloud for you. I don't use that. Geo-tagging, it's smart enough to say, I know where your phone was at the moment you took this picture, and so if the picture comes over and it hasn't already been previously geotagged, it will write the location data in. It's a little silly to use with the 7D Mark II because it has built-in GPS. Whether you want to be notified every time it comes across, and then the transfer mode. So this is the other important one that I want to show you. Automatic would mean any kind of image that I've said to transfer, when it lands on the card, basically when you take a picture, it's going to transfer over. I don't like that. That is similar to what the Mobi does. So I much prefer the selective transfer. This allows you to use your rate button or your protect button to trigger the card to know that that is an image that you want sent over to your mobile device. So I'm going to click Save, and I can close this, and I can eject this little card now, and I can pull it out, and I can put it in my 7D Mark II. Now I don't have a CF card in here, I only have the Wi-Fi card in here now. And I'm going to move this partly out of the way and put this right here so you can see. A little sharper. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is that on the SD card, I'm going to have it shoot only JPEGs to that card. And notice that I have it recorded separately right now. So if I had a CF card in, it would be recording RAW files. But I'm going to do small JPEGs to this card. Now, if I take a picture of something, so I just took a picture of the little SD card reader. And I'm going to show you the one other trick that I wanted to show, and that is, where is it? Right here. Under the setup, you have this in many of the Canon cameras that have a rate button on the side here. You can set that rate button to either rate images from 1 to 5, and that star rating will come across in Lightroom. It's pretty handy. Or protect, and I'm going to choose protect. And now, if I go back over here and show you that there is a menu in Wi-Fi settings, and you want to make sure that it is enabled, and you can see your connection info here, and it's not enabled at all right now, because I haven't told it that that image is protected, and so then it doesn't know to transfer it over. So I'm going to hit the play. There's an image I took. I'm going to hit the rate button, and now that is protected. And then it's just a moment of waiting game. That's all I had to do. So it might seem complicated at this point, but while we're waiting for it to actually figure out it needs the transfer, really all I did was set up the card, put it in my camera, set my camera to say protected, rating button equals protection. And when I press that button now, the Wi-Fi card will send the image over. So if we come back over here to the Nexus now and make sure that that looks all good, we can see that at 5:09 it received that image, and because those small JPEGs are so quick, it transfers really, really quickly most of the time. So here it is, sitting over here. It just happened, and that's one of the things that I love about this system that still beats all of the other Wi-Fi systems I've used in cameras I've been reviewing, is once it's set up, all I have to do is press that rate button and make sure my Wi-Fi card's actually in the slot. There have been times I've left it at home. Hit that rate button, and phone's in my pocket or in my backpack, and later when I pull it out, the images that I've hit rate for have been moved over. And there they are, and then I can edit them, share them out. You can certainly transfer RAW files over. As you saw, that was an option, and there are some apps that will allow you to do RAW editing on Android and iOS. They have apps. Wi-Fi's got apps for this. It works seamlessly with all of these different devices. If I really want to work on a picture, I'll wait until I'm back at the desktop or the laptop and work at it in Lightroom. But for quick JPEG shares on the go, it's quite nice. So I hope this was helpful as a way to add Wi-Fi to your Wi-Fi-less 7D Mark II. If you've got any questions about this, comments, suggestions, just leave right down below. And if you're interested in checking out buying these, I'll put links to buy right down below, and your use of those links helps me and making videos like this. Hit that thumbs up button if it was helpful, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.